Hello, everybody. Hey, how are you doing? I hope you're doing good. Folks, today's vlog is some video I shot a few days ago when I did the East Town Street vlog. Right after I visited that section of town, I eased on my bike down the road a little bit east of there, came across a topiary garden, which is kind of fascinating. You'll see in a minute. But in between there, I came across this high school. I think this is such a beautiful building. It turns out it's the old school for the deaf that has been renovated. And Cristo Rey High School took residence there in 2013. The school started in 2013. It's a private Jesuit Catholic high school for students of limited means, which I found fascinating because when I think of Jesuit schools, in my mind, my experience has been a lot of them are really old. Like, for example, in my old neighborhood, the Pico Union in Los Angeles, there was a high school on Pico Boulevard called Loyola, and it's the oldest high school in Los Angeles. It was established in 1865. It's a private Jesuit Catholic high school. So it's fascinating that this school is relatively new and is part of a network of Cristo Rey high schools around the country that are, like I said, to help students of limited means get a quality education, none of which I knew when I rode down this sidewalk. So I asked this gentleman if it was a public or private school.
Do you happen to know if this is a public high school or a private high school?
It's a private high school.
Oh, it is? Thanks, man. Cristo Rey Columbus High School. He said it's a private high school.
So then I spy this park, which looked interesting to me. So, as is my habit, I spun around and began to check it out. Now, what's interesting about this park is that it is, well, first of all, it's the old School for the Deaf park. It's part of the grounds of the School for the Deaf. And secondly, they have a topiary garden in there that we'll read about right here. It says, the topiary garden, begun in 1989 by the Columbus Recreation and Parks Department, is a recreation in sculpted shrubbery of French artist Georges Seurat's famous painting, A Sunday Afternoon on the Ile de la Grande Jatte, from the mid-1880s. And they tell you to go to an elevated portion of the park to see the shrubs, and you'll see that in a minute. Now, whether it duplicates or recreates the painting accurately, only you can decide. So I started to head that way. I love this park. It's quiet. It's got lots of trails. I can ride around on my bike. And of course, because Pokemon Go was still, and is still today, massively popular, there's kids everywhere playing it. Here's a little bit of background. Deaf School Park. This 10-acre site was purchased in 1829 for the Ohio School for the Education for the Deaf. The first school building opened here in 1834, etc., etc. The deaf school was relocated on Morse Road in the 1950s, which is in the northern part of Columbus. So I just moseyed around, see what I could see. Here's these guys playing Pokemon Go. And you can see that little hill there. That's where we're heading. More people over here on the left in the bench playing Pokemon Go. As is this young man who's approaching the top of this little rise, standing right in the way as I get there of the place you're supposed to stand to look at this shrubbery. Thanks, dude. So, until he gets his Pokemon, I decided to head over to this little sign over here, which has a relief of the painting so you can get an idea. And then you'll see an actual picture of the painting, of course, to get a much better idea. But you can see that they're people on a hillside, a grassy hillside in France, next to what looks like a pond or a lake. And that was ostensibly recreated here in these shrubs. You can see the little dog on the left, the guy reclining on the left, and then here's the painting itself. You can see the guy in front. It looks like he's smoking a pipe, and the lady, of course, on the right with her umbrella. She looks like she's gained a little weight in the shrubs there. I don't know how often they trim these or how it works, but really pretty cool. Some of it doesn't look that close, but really difficult to try to duplicate. That guy finally moved, so I moved over to the marker. Now here's where you're supposed to get the perspective of the painting, and it is a little bit better. There's the painting, and here are the shrubs. I think it would have worked better if these flowers to the left weren't blocking the pond, because when you look at this painting here, you see more of the water. Maybe that would have given it a, well, of course I'm nitpicking, like I could do that, in any shrub. So that's pretty much it. Then I started to head home and went by this Catholic church here. And you see downtown, some of the downtown buildings, the edge of it in the distance there. Headed back toward Victorian Village where I was staying. That's pretty much the vlog. I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time.